What's up, guys? I hope you're well. Today we are checking out why the world's most famous car race is in Monaco. Well, I have no clue, but I've heard a lot of people talk trash about the track, so let's check out why.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
In the wide world of car racing, there's a feat called the Triple Crown. It's when a driver wins the sport's three most prestigious races, and only one has ever done it, a British driver named Graham Hill. In 1972, he won the 24 Hours of Le Mans race in France,
Wow.
the country that invented the first self-propelled vehicle. In 1966, Hill won the Indianapolis 500 in the American Midwest, home to the world's biggest car companies. The third leg of the Triple Crown isn't in a place known for making cars. In fact, it's a country that's impossible to see on this map. It spans only 499 acres, and only 39,000 people live there. Yet it's home to the most important of the Triple Crown races.
The most picturesque
Wow,
road race
I didn't realize it was that small of a country.
perhaps the most difficult. The Monaco
The Monaco Grand Prix.
It's 78 laps around a course unlike any other on Earth, where some of car racing's greatest moments have happened. Graham Hill, despite being the only Triple Crown winner ever, is nicknamed Mr. Monaco because he won this race 5 times.
Wow.
So how did tiny Monaco create the world's most prestigious car race?
Magic. All magic. Probably not.
Monaco is the world's second smallest country, spanning just 2.2 square kilometers. In 1297, the Grimaldis, a prominent Italian family, seized this area, called the Rock of Monaco from a rival family. But over the centuries, it was controlled by the Spanish, the Sardinians, and the French. In 1861, the French finally recognized its sovereignty with a treaty, keeping the Grimaldis in power as monarchs. Around the same time, the gas-powered automobile was invented, and in a few decades, Europeans were obsessed with racing them. Car manufacturers like Mercedes, Bugatti, and Peugeot would pitch their fastest models against each other. And countries began hosting national races called the Grand Prix. In the 1920s, the Automobile Club de Monaco set out to create their own Grand Prix. They already hosted the Monte Carlo Rally, where drivers would begin all over Europe and finish in the heart of Monaco, called Monte Carlo. But when the club tried to make that race the Monaco Grand Prix, they were denied.
Yeah.
International rules held that the country's Grand Prix course had to exist entirely inside its borders. Easy for most, but a serious challenge for tiny Monaco. So they used all the space they had, thereby creating one of the world's most unusual courses.
Fancy.
Most Grand Prix courses were set in the countryside on roads built just for racing. But Monaco's course ran right through downtown Monte Carlo, on regular streets, up a cliff, under a tunnel, and just feet from the harbor. Most Grand Prix courses included long straightaways, where drivers could use speed to overtake each other, and wide corners with runoff space where they could pass each other. But the Monaco course had very short straightaways, and the corners were perilously narrow, meaning attempting a pass here meant risking a crash. This generated a new style of racing, where having the fastest car wasn't as important as having the most skilled and daring driver. The first race in 1929 was a success, and in the following decades, the Monaco Grand Prix became part of the prominent Formula One league and known for generating some of the sport's most dramatic moments. In 1955, Italian driver Alberto Ascari was leading the race until he flew off the road and into the harbor here, a spot where many dreams would come to an end.
Wow.
In 1970, Australian Jack Brabham was winning until he crashed here, on the final corner on the final lap. And in 1982, catastrophe struck 5 drivers in the final 3 laps, starting with Alan Prost at the harbor.
And as Prost goes into the tunnel, he is now on his way to his 6th Grand Prix victory. And there goes Prost!
Then Riccardo Patrese at the hairpin turn.
Well, Riccardo Patrese now has all the pressure off. He only has to cruise around the finish, and he's sliding, and he's lost it.
Then it was Didier Pironi's turn in the tunnel.
No hope of catching Pironi, who goes into the tunnel for the last. Is that Pironi stationary? It is! My goodness!
He must have run out of petrol.
And
what an
Andrea
insane
De Cesaris
finish
at the casino.
And that is De Cesaris' car.
And finally, Derek Daly just a couple hundred meters from the finish line.
Now, there is Derek Daly coasting to a standstill. This is unbelievable. And now
Damn.
Patrese is coming in to win.
But while this
Wow.
course was unique in the sport, it alone didn't make the Monaco Grand Prix famous. It got help from the people watching here. And to understand how they got there, we need to talk about taxes.
Taxes.
Remember that treaty in 1861
Taxes.
where the French recognized
I want to
Monaco's
talk about
sovereignty?
taxes.
Well, it actually
Yep.
came at a pretty steep price.
Ooh.
Previously, Monaco included all of this area, where citrus farms brought in most of the country's revenue. But in 1848, the people here rebelled against the Grimaldis, partly because taxes were so high. So to save their kingdom, the Grimaldis signed that treaty, giving France all of this territory in exchange for their sovereignty and 4 million francs. But it left Monaco tiny and broke. To bring in money, the Grimaldis hatched a plan to offer Europeans something they couldn't get at home. At the time, many countries were passing laws that restricted gambling, so the Grimaldis had a casino built, eventually named the Casino de Monte Carlo.
Ah, okay.
It
Making
struggled at
sense.
first, but when a railroad was built connecting it to France, it boomed. By 1869, the casino brought in so much revenue that the Grimaldis stopped collecting taxes from its citizens.
Wow.
This was another opportunity to offer Europeans something they couldn't get elsewhere. Tax rates were rising in most European countries, especially on the rich. Monaco offered them a place to stash their fortunes. It made itself a tax haven. Europe's wealthiest people flocked to Monaco. They built luxury hotels, theaters, and mansions, and brought their yachts, and of course, their fancy cars. Before long, celebrities joined their lavish parties. The tiny country entered the world's spotlight when famous actress Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier Grimaldi III in 1956.
Wow.
Today, out of a population of 39,000 people, a third are millionaires.
Jeez.
But only about 9,000 are native Monegasques,
Of course.
meaning the rest are foreigners, here to enjoy the low taxes and the parties. The biggest of the year is the Grand Prix.
In the sparkling waters of Monte Carlo, the wealthy unemployed relax in those rich, peaceful surroundings. But for one day in the year, that gilt-edged peace is threatened.
Throughout the weekend, lavish parties attract the rich and famous, who attract the press and therefore the spotlight to Monaco.
Jeez.
And they watch the race from the best seats, here on the yachts, just a few feet from the course.
That's really cool, though.
They turned the Monaco Grand Prix into a worldwide spectacle and car racing's most prestigious event.
With its hazardous twisting course, the Monaco Grand Prix is known as the race of 1,000 corners.
Brazilian driver Nelson Piquet used to say that the Monaco Grand Prix was like cycling around your living room, meaning it's too tight.
Yeah.
In the last 90 years, the course has only changed in minor ways. In fact, if it was designed today, it wouldn't pass Formula One safety standards.
Wow.
Because the cars have completely transformed.
Yeah.
When William Grover Williams won the first Monaco Grand Prix, his French Bugatti averaged 84 kilometers an hour to set a lap record. In 2018, Red Bull Racing's Max Verstappen set a new record averaging 150 kilometers an hour.
Jesus,
and he drove a
Murphy.
car more than twice the size. Overtaking on
Wow.
Monaco's narrow streets was difficult in the early 20th century, but it's nearly impossible now. In the past 16 races, the car that started at the front of the race has gone on to win 12 times. It's why some consider the Monaco Grand Prix boring to watch, even occasionally.
That's what I've been hearing
drivers.
from people. It's really boring.
Yet after almost 100 years of racing drama, in front of the world's most famous audience, the Monaco Grand Prix remains the world's most renowned car race. As Piquet would continue to say, but winning here is worth winning twice anywhere else.
I can see that. Very interesting. Cool little history about Monaco. Not only about the track, but just about the country itself. I had no idea it was so itty bitty, teeny tiny. I mean, second smallest in the world. What's the smallest? The Vatican. So that's really crazy. Really fun video. Interesting. Great. Let me know what you guys think about Monaco down in the comments. And if you're new here, remember, please hit the subscription button, ring that bell, and leave a comment. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Stay safe, and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye.